Hi Nicoloff students, it's me Mr. Jaime again. I hope you guys are doing good, staying safe, and as you guys know, for this 2 weeks we chose the theme as space for our activities and for our videos, and just because of that I chose to do a video on the moons or the moon. And okay, so I just want to get started with the scientific definition of the moon, and then I'll explain it in my words a little bit. So the actual definition is: a moon, also known as a natural satellite, is an astronomical body that orbits a planet or minor planet, and sometimes another small solar system body. So basically, astronomical body, what it basically means is anything that's in space that's natural, and moons were in the past were referred to as natural satellites because moon was too ambiguous, which ambiguous means that you can't like clearly and directly distinguish what it is. So just so they can be so they can it's just easier for philosophers and scientists for them to label it as a natural satellite, and that's why it's known as a natural satellite, not moon. So just in our galaxy, which is the Milky Way, or not, yeah, there's 205 known natural satellites. Most are irregular moons, and basically what irregular moons are means, which is that they follow distant, inclined, and often eccentric and retrograde orbit. And that basically, like in my words, that basically, so it can be easier to understand, that basically means that they're irregular because moons, they follow a certain orbit, like around the planet or around the sun actually. And irregular moons, basically they're not stable. They're having their own orbit, they can move, and they're known as irregular moons. Dwarf planets like Pluto, and there's also all other dwarf planets in our solar system, and obviously in our Milky Way, which is bigger. Dwarf planets like Pluto also have natural satellites. Now, one of the main reasons that I picked the topic of moons or natural satellites, as I said, which they're technically known as, uh, it's because of our Earth Moon system, which is really unique, especially among all these planetary systems. It's really unique because it's the ratio of the diameter of the moon to the diameter of the Earth is much greater than that of any other natural satellite planets. Rachel, basically, what that means is that the moon is bigger than the Earth. And yeah, some people don't know that, but that's an interesting fact. Yeah, the moon is bigger than the Earth by a little bit, but it is. And that's like the only moon in our solar system that is bigger than its actual. It's known as a parent planet than its parent planet because it kind of goes in that orbit. So that's why they label it as a parent planet. It kind of follows it in a way. Now, to give you guys a brief history, a little fun, interesting topic about the moon, it was that at first it was considered a planet until Nicholas Copernicus, which is a famous philosopher and scientist and physicist and just multiple things. He was from Poland, and he discovered that everything rotated around the sun and not the planet. And until then, the history was considered a planet, but after him, it was considered a moon, or a natural satellite. And also, something interesting is that in 1610, when the Galilean satellites were discovered by Galileo Galilei, which is also a famous scribe, scientist, just philosopher. He was from Italy. Um, he discovered the Galilean moons, and he also decided to refer to them as planets. So he didn't know. So to the day I believe he died, he still thought they were planets. Now, defining a moon is quite tricky. I did a lot of research, and basically what I could understand is I'll say the words that I found, like the research that I found, and then I'll try to put it into my words, and so it could be a better perspective for you guys. So there is no established lower limit on what is considered a moon. Any natural celestial body with an identified orbit around the planet can be considered a moon. So basically, what this means is that there's no exact definition to a moon. Like there's no that's something that can directly like specifically identify it as it, but basically it is any natural, like anything that's natural in the sky. Celestial mean that it's in the sky or space, and it's basically, yeah. And then here's another thing, and that it has to orbit around the planet. That's so basically anything that's up in the sky that has natural celestial body. That's why it's hard to pinpoint certain asteroids and moons, because some asteroids sometimes they stay in orbit, but then they take off into their own I don't know, their own direction, and that's when you can label them asteroids. But to that point, they can be still considered natural satellites or moons. Now, before I finish the video, I just want to talk about some of the most famous moons in our solar system. And I want to begin with Europa, which is the smallest of the 4 Galilean moons that orbit Jupiter. And another really important one is Titan, which is the largest moon of Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet in our solar system, and it's the one with the rings. It's very, very pretty. It's basically the prettiest or shiniest planet that we have. Now, as I was saying, Saturn is like one of the most beautiful planets we have, and the rings around Saturn, which haven't like fully been like directly been observed, they're called moonlets, which is the little they're basically little celestial bodies that orbit around the planet. And that's why it's kind of hard, as I had said before in the video, it's kind of hard to distinguish sometimes an asteroid and a moon. You just have to wait until it falls off orbit or stays in orbit. And so I wanted to end the video with talking about the moon, obviously. And the moon is the Earth's only proper natural satellite. Basically, it's the only moon that we have, and it's the 5th largest in our solar system. I also wanted to give you guys talk about Apollo 11, which was the first crewed mission to land on the moon. And it landed multiple times. A lot of people don't know this, because they would go back to space and then they would land either with the crews would go down there, or sometimes they would go without crews. And this happened on from July 20th, 1969 to 1972. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys give astronomy and space a chance and do a little bit more research on it, because it is quite fascinating. And just want to let you guys remember, let you guys know that we are in the pandemic. So just want to throw that out there. Just respect the regulations. Remember, 6 feet, always wear a mask, try to wash your hands as much as you can, and hope to see you guys soon. Stay safe and healthy.